Domaine Paul Janin, Moulin-a-Vent. So we're going to southern part of what is Burgundy, and I think many would kind of are of the mind that that Moulin-a-Vent might yield some of the more long-lived Beaujolais. Eric Janin, who's at the helm, is really one of the great passionate spokespeople for the AOC, for the crew that is Moulin-a-Vent. His family has been farming there for years and years, and this is really one of their top bottlings. This is to me just such incredible Beaujolais. This is Beaujolais that drinks
like a
Gamay that drinks as well as Pinot. This is age-worthy 2019. What was a great vintage in Burgundy.
Oh, look at that color. Like the
And
intensity of the
so
color.
I have two different kind of cuvées from them, and this is the top cuvée. There's one called Vigne de Tremblay, and this is called Heritage. So you've got vines here that make the foundation of this wine that are nearing 100 years old.
Wow. Yeah, this is
But
very satisfying.
I'm just such a believer in his wines. While I've been in and around the wine industry for 39 years, I really have only been familiarizing myself with Janin over the last 15 months. Since I joined Martine's Wines, and I tasted the 18s from this producer and the 19s, and 18s were really beautifully made wines, but 19 as a vintage, I think you line up behind producers, not behind vintages.
Right.
But I have had very few wines from 19 from Beaujolais, the Macon, Côte de Beaune, from Côte Chalonnaise. It's just, to me, it's such a successful vintage for Burgundy.
Nice.
The wines are so exuberant, so beautifully fruited. This wine to me has all the requisite parts that it's going to age marvelously. I mean, if someone has this in their cellar 10 years from now and they're drinking, a 15-year-old bottle of Moulin-a-Vent, they're going to be like, oh my God, why didn't I get more of this?
Right.
Yeah, this wine has such age-worthiness to me.
So let's talk about the whole Beaujolais, kind of how the international wine drinker knows about Beaujolais. One of the biggest thing is the Beaujolais Nouveau, obviously, and a lot of people, when they think about Beaujolais, they think that's what it is. But that's literally on like one end of the spectrum, and this is on the other end of the spectrum. So can you tell me how is the winemaking process for this? Is it treated just like a Burgundy?
Totally treated like a Burgundy. Vintage like 19, that was really a nice, even, kind of post-spiration. There may be a little bit of stem inclusion, but, Beaujolais Nouveau, that Angie's mentioning, is really an unfinished wine.
Right.
And it's a wine that, it releases around Thanksgiving, and you drink it for the next 10 weeks, and then you discard it.
Correct.
I mean, it's not really even meant to be drunk past, say, Valentine's Day.
Right.
Whereas, great Cru Beaujolais, whether it's Morgon, Courcelette, whether it's Moulin-a-Vent, Heritage, these wines have the ability to age superbly. I mean, when you get to, when you get this wine in your mouth and you really taste how just the concentration of this is just remarkable, but it's really, this wine has structural integrity. This wine is just, I mean, I'm crazy about this. To me, this is like really one of the great wines made in all of Beaujolais across 10 crus and all the producers.
I'm a huge fan. I think when Beaujolais is made well, in the Cru Beaujolais level, you do get a completely different wine. Like, first of all, the color, this looks just like a Burgundy, whereas in your regular Beaujolais, that is done in a more playful, I guess was the word I would use, manner. Usually have like a lighter pink color, and they're very, as we describe it, it smells will be like a Coca-Cola, like a teardrop, like very just sweet and candy-like. But when you get into the Cru Beaujolais, when it's well made, then you really just start to get that herbal, earthy, and of savory mouthfeel as well. So, but it is mellow on the backdrop. I think like some of the herbaceousness also reminds me of the Loire Valley, but it's not quite as rustic. It still have that juicy, fruity notes to it. But you start to get a little more black fruit compared to just the regular Beaujolais, which is all red fruit dominant. And good structure, good, a little more higher elevated tannin compared to the regular style Gamay. So it is a really good, I think, next step for people who like Gamay to begin with but want to try something better, or thought Gamay was not good and haven't tried anything like this good yet, or the people who are starting to, myself included, get priced out of Burgundy, because Burgundy are just a little crazy with the price right now.
Completely.
So I think
Yeah.
this is a good place to go.
You know, this is a very small production wine made from really one of the great producers of Moulin-a-Vent. We hesitate to call it every day, but their first wine, you know, Vin de Tremblay, may be about $10 less retail.
Yeah.
But I wanted to really show you this. This is really the top wine that's offered, and I think it really, it's in the bottle.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah,
worth
it is.
following.
It is great.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.